a senior program officer in quantitative sciences in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in Seattle, Washington. And he obtained his bachelor in pharmacy from Beijing Medical University and PhD in pharmaceutics from the University of Washington in Seattle. He's worked as a DMPK scientist at Pfizer in La Jolla, pharmacokineticist at Sonus Pharmaceuticals in Seattle, and a clinical pharmacologist in Amgen. And then was at the Office of Clinical Pharmacology at the FDA, where he was a scientific lead of the PBPK, physiologically based pharmacokinetic modeling program, and an expert clinical pharmacologist responsible for accessible PBPK works in IND and NDA submissions. So with that, Dr. Sao.
Yeah. Thank you, Rob. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces, and thanks, Sarah, for organizing this wonderful event to network. So my 3 slides are pretty straightforward. If you can, the title is a model-informed drug dosing in specific populations, and here specifically, dear to my heart and also to the foundation is to improve the medicine use in pediatrics, especially kids under age of 5, and also pregnant and lactating women. If you move to the next slide. I think this is a way of describing the problem, and the next slide about the vision. The problem, we all know that the drug development takes many years, on average 10 to 15 years. Usually, the pediatric populations won't be tested clinically towards the very end of the development paradigm. Even worse is pregnant women, lactating women. So the so-called conventional pregnancy assessment clinically will not happen until many years after the drug approval. So really, this is because of the reasons that we tend to exclude pregnant women from the clinical trials, and the pharmacology is highly complex. And then even if you are able to do a clinical study, it's going to be a PK study in reality, and such study has a very limited ability to generalize to a broader population, especially now we put it under the context of sort of a low middle income country setting where the patient factors or the user factors, subject factors are way more complicated. Then the off-label drug use is the norm. If you can move to the next slide, when we understand the problem, really the hope is to utilize our knowledge by implementing this physiologically based pharmacokinetic modeling, or right now we try to simplify or kind of generalize the term outside the modeling and simulation community. We call it virtual physiology or virtual pregnancy. So to really to look seriously into the current status of these type of models early in drug development, and really asking ourselves the questions that based on the success of using physiologically based modeling in addressing questions such as drug-drug interaction, oral absorption, and very good emerging uses of PBPK in drug development for pediatric dose selection. So then in the field of all these special populations in general, we're asking whether we can use the model early on to optimize clinical design, which is kind of a low-hanging fruit for the utility of the PBPK model. And then later on, you will see the portfolio that we're managing here at the Gates Foundation has a major focus, which is to improve the off-label use using model-based evidence. And then, the sort of a wishful thinking is whether people will eventually take the in silico simulations or the in silico clinical trial as a quality digital evidence, and then maybe put them in the drug label to really highlight the importance of the emerging technology, cutting edge way of kind of utilizing the modern simulation to inform the drug label. The last slide that I have, you can move to the next slide. The last slide is just an overview of the type of projects, and some of them track back to the time before I joined the Gates Foundation. So you can see we're investing into University of Washington to better building the maternal fetal linked PBPK model with a lot of transporter work, the preclinical research being investigated, and to inform the model. We have a couple of investments that focus on building specific virtual pregnancy population. The second one is working with a university in China to build the specific Chinese virtual populations, and pregnancy is one of them. We focus a lot on this repository. I think this is something that that can echo the M-print spirit very closely, which is you build all these models, or somebody build all these models. We got to be able to use them like an off-shelf product, right? Because otherwise you just keep building the good models and hold it for yourselves, and there's no real application of these models. So we're working with a couple of grantees and collaborators, such as UK MHRA, Red Body University in the Netherlands, Satara, and others, to really organize the learning. I think that there is something similar that we also invested with the University of Florida on the contraception drug use using different PBPK platforms. So it's really the goal is to organize the learning and really empower their utility. And then we also have some sort of side project working with the pharmacists to build a PBPK model specific for malnourished kids. So this is really just a overview of the sort of Gates Foundation virtual pregnancy and virtual pediatric modeling effort. Just stop here, and probably we need to move to the next speaker. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Pink.